What up, what up, what up? What is happening, good people? Welcome to this Relationship Friday edition of Herb and Two, alongside the baddest tag team in the world, Tucson Warner, E4O. My name is Herb Howard. We get together on Friday specifically and talk about relationships. We think that relationships are foundational to everything we want to build.
Hey, man, I'm sorry. That fucking E-face, did you see that fucking E-face?
I didn't see it.
Oh, my God.
I didn't see it at all.
I just happened to look up and saw that shit. I just started dying laughing. She couldn't help it. She laughing too. That shit was crazy.
What's wrong with you?
Finish your intro.
What were you making the face about?
Nothing. I'm just the camera was on. It's the awkward. It's the whole awkward. The whole awkward thing. Finish your
I
intro.
said, what the fuck? The fuck is going on?
We have great relationships up in here, but we think those relationships are foundational to building a healthy, sustainable community, be it economics, be it agriculture, be it politics, be it education. Getting our relationships right is paramount. And so on Fridays, we set aside time to talk about relationships in every aspect: parental, spousal, romantic, business relationships, communal relationships. We talk to everybody from sex workers to parents to married couples to children to neighbors. So welcome. Again, as always, your input is valued. It is appreciated. Please leave any comments that you like. Make sure that you have liked the video. It'd be so many of y'all watching the videos and so few of y'all actually hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. It helps us out a lot. So please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the page and set alerts so you get reminders when the page does go live. Again, this is Herb and Two. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb. His name is Two. Two. What's happening, good brother?
What's up, family? I'm here.
That's all we can ask for sometimes.
That's it, bro.
That's all we can ask for sometimes.
Sound like that's all for the day. You know what I mean?
E,
What's up?
what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Pretty good. Can't complain. Got my braids in, but
Last time the people
left
saw
my
you.
hat.
Last time people saw you on
She's gonna
camera.
rob a liquor store. What you call them? My dookie braids. What you call them a minute ago?
Dookie braids.
Yeah,
Dookie braids. I thought the dookie braids was them thick ass shits they used to wear in the 90s.
The Patrick joints.
Yeah, same.
You know who Patrick is? You don't know who Patrick
Nah,
is.
Patrick.
You don't know who Patrick is?
Never mind.
Nah, who Patrick?
Never mind.
Oh, you don't know who Patrick is?
Never mind, G.
Who Patrick?
Pull up to my bumper, baby.
Okay, yeah, I know the song.
You know Patrick.
Yeah, I know the song for sure.
Yeah.
To my bumper, baby.
Never heard that version.
That's the next part of the song.
That's definitely not how it goes.
Bet money that's the next part of this. That's the next line of the song.
It's the white version.
Yeah, I don't think it say that, Herb.
He can go
Carry
Google
on,
shit.
right.
Let's carry on.
Right.
God damn this.
Carry these nuts. Y'all not gonna play me. That song goes, pull up to my bumper, baby. To my bumper, baby. That's the next fucking line. Bet money.
Okay, so Patrick was a reggae star.
Reggae queen.
The reggae queen.
Please.
Patrick was super thick.
One of the first.
The first super thick that was on TV
Chocolate.
for real. Chocolate. This probably pre-BET. This like MTV still probably video time. Yeah, Patrick.
Yeah, the box.
Yeah, the box.
Yeah.
She got on her black leather pants in the video.
Yeah, Patrick
Okay, we're
was
not about to just
killing them.
sit
Yeah, we
here.
all right. You want her? That's part of the song. I agree.
Oh, look at that. Herb don't know shit.
I don't think that's the right song.
Because it says, Patrick, pull up to my bumper, and I'm looking at Patrick.
All right.
Bless your
Jesus
heart.
Christ. Latter-day Saints.
You feel better?
I do.
Okay.
I do. What remix is this? Y'all funny.
The country version.
Before the cameras came on, we was talking about the songs we was going to sing at
Beyonce
at-
version.
At E's African wedding.
We're not doing that. Save that for Patreon.
I would save it for
The
Patreon.
songs are the African wedding part.
Right, what part we saving for Patreon? Last time we saw you on camera, E, we was talking about your budding career as a video vixen. How's that going?
Save that for Patreon.
What'd you have for breakfast this morning, E?
Say that to Patreon.
I ain't talking about shit. It's live show. I'm just joking. Ish.
Nah, man, I'm good. I'm glad y'all good. Get to go to a dinner this evening. Bears Black Media dinner. The Bears president is a black man. It's Black History Month. And
It's really black over there.
there is a dinner this evening Israel Donizet used to play for the Bears. He got a restaurant and bar now. Shout out to Izzy for that. That's dope. We gotta get Izzy on the show.
Why you ain't invite the team?
Huh?
Why you ain't invite the team?
Izzy got more than that too. Izzy
wasn't
got
like
like
that.
an investment firm that's doing a lot of dope shit, a lot of black shit.
Izzy.
I had a few meetings with Izzy a few years ago, and some of his partners are good friends of mine.
Remember we was downtown, that Izzy thing for that Black Caucus shit.
That was another thing we did with
Right.
Izzy. Yeah, you right.
Do he
Yeah.
own seafood? What is it called? All Star? He not the one that own All Star Seafood.
Nah,
Is it?
his joint is
Okay.
called. His joint is it's on the South Loop on like 13th and Wabash, and it
Okay.
is called. It is called. I'll tell you in 1 second what it's called.
It's a live show, so part of the conversation.
So you motherfuckers talk while I'm looking at something.
This is the second time.
I'm a Google. Let me check my Googles.
He done pulled up a song.
I'm sure it says that.
Listen,
Let me find out what Izzy's restaurant is.
I play point guard. That
Free promotion.
I play point guard on this show. That don't mean I can't
That's
pass you niggas the
easy.
ball and y'all just like, oh, what happens now?
So on this
Dribble, motherfucker.
on this relationship Friday,
Anywho.
he
right.
had some ideas she wanted to talk about. She's been invested in this
It's called Signature Bar.
40-page
page long Twitter rant from some woman in Atlanta who got manipulated by her husband.
Right. So, and I'm on. So, okay. So there's a trending video or
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
Videos.
I ain't seen it at all, but I heard a lot about it.
yeah, it's a woman out of Georgia, Atlanta, parts of Atlanta, whatever you want to call it, and she has 50 parts, like 50 part
It's a 50-part demo?
TikTok. So
Damn.
50 videos. They're all about like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, I heard it's like a
And she-
4-hour situation.
Yeah, she's 4 hours. Yeah, I'm like on part 4, so I don't know how far I'm gonna get, but it is pretty interesting.
You gonna watch the whole thing?
Hopefully, it'll probably take me a week. But basically, she's just detailing how her ex-husband, her now ex-husband, manipulated her and like sold her these lies. Like, I mean, they were supposedly buying a house. She got pregnant. They got married, and I guess the conclusion of it all is that he wasn't even who he said he was. He had like different social security numbers. The name on the marriage certificate might have been something different. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Right.
But even just that part 4, like I don't understand how you even made it to marriage just from part 4, and it's 50.
Oh,
So then that brought up the topic of manipulation.
yeah.
So which is what I want to talk about today.
I think manipulation is rampant in society. I think people manipulate individuals, they manipulate situations, they manipulate constructs to get their own desired outcome. And we specifically talk about it in relationships, right? Direct one-on-one,
Right.
romantic relationships. I think it's dangerous. I think it's almost deceitful. It's almost like it's some bogus shit to do to a person.
If you're doing it intentionally, because I
think it's always intentional.
I don't think so.
I think manipulation is always intentional.
So a long time ago, in my 20s, this woman told me that I was manipulative, and I was like, "What? Like I'm never, I never thought of myself as a manipulative person."
Sure.
Until maybe 3 to 4 years after she told me that, when I was kind of going through my healing journey and all of those things, I
Yeah.
realized how some of what I do or some of how I move could be considered manipulative. Why you laughing too? Because I said healing journey.
Yes, man. I'm so sick of this fucking yoga and candle ass shit. I swear to God.
Why I can't have a journey?
Pedicures, yoga, and candles. That's this whole fucking.
Oh, don't hate on
Life
pedicures.
journey.
I need a pedicure right now.
Yeah, but so sometimes I don't think that manipulation is always negative, and I don't think it's always intentional.
So I do think, I disagree with you on both parts. I think it's always negative, and I think it's always intentional, even if it's unconscious, right? So what I mean by that is,
Okay.
it could be unconscious to the point where you're not making this decision like I'm gonna be on some snake shit, right? You're not
Right.
saying it like that, but you know damn well if I cry, it'll get this result, right? If I go silent, it'll get this result. If I throw a fit, it'll get this result. And And that's manipulation. Anything we do to a person, right? Something generally, I won't even say generally undesirable, because sometimes you can do things that are very desirable and it still be manipulation. But if you're doing it with the intent of getting some other result from it, it's manipulation.
Some other result other than what?
Other than what's happening, right? So I was about to say it's usually undesirable. I'll still stick with that. It's usually undesirable, but even if it's desirable, even if it was like, I'm gonna get this person some fire ass sex, so that they will acquiesce to my desire on whatever else it might be, right? This ain't about the sex. This whole part is about
acquiescing to the desire.
Exactly, and that's a manipulation. Whether you use your box, your throat, your love, your tears, your money, you know what I'm saying? Because you can use your money to manipulate a motherfucker. Like, I think that's always negative when you get somebody to arrive at a destination that they did not choose.
Have you ever been?
But for your actions, they didn't choose.
Have you found yourself to be manipulative, or?
I'm sure. Yes.
Or I asked Two this before the
yeah, asked Two. He's more
on.
manipulative than me.
Is Two manipulative though, or is he just a wild ass?
No. Two just tells the truth.
I asked Two if he, because I remember my auntie, she used to always say, in marriage, like the trick to marriage or something like that is to make your husband think that he came up with this idea on his own or something like that.
Yeah.
Two said that he doesn't feel like, he said women, we think we're being manipulative, but at the end of the day, y'all know that they're attempting to do that. So I asked him if he had ever realized later, like, damn,
She got me.
you got me. He, or whatever, and I say he because then he went to tell a different story about,
The argument I'm making is that, is it really manipulation if the other party knows the desired outcome and they still go along with it?
Sure.
Right? Manipulation, at least in my understanding of it, is that I've been fooled into.
There's a level of ignorance.
There's a level of ignorance. No, I know you're doing bullshit.
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with the other side of it, so I'm going to go along. Am I really being manipulated? Or am I just going along? Right? 'Cause I think there's a distinct difference. You know what I mean? I know people who think they're manipulative. You're not really getting over, I just decided to go.
Right.
That's all that happened here. You know what I mean? And if I didn't decide to go, then I wouldn't go. You know what I mean? But it's very rare that I'm going to be in a situation where it's like, even the situation I spoke about, you got me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got me, right? And I felt got.
Yeah.
But that was a professional.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's very different. An amateur, it's not too many amateurs, it's not professionals. If you were a professional, you'd probably be making a living off of like the person I talked about. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's a very thin line, because I do agree with you. I do agree with you that there's a distinct difference between the level of ignorance that it takes. There's a level of ignorance required for manipulation versus knowing and allowing or going with.
It's a different thing, yeah.
Different thing. But I think that line is so fucking thin though. Like so fucking thin, because even in my knowledge and willingness to partake, at some point, when am I still just doing that because of what you're doing?
And it's still manipulation.
And you're still manipulating me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's a thin line. 'Cause I do agree with what Tu is saying, but I think it's a thin line that could be easily switched over to the other side depending on situation to situation basis.
And then do you think, because what you said there's a level of
Ignorance required for
ignorance
manipulation.
that's required to be manipulation. I don't know if that's.
But then that's what I'm saying. In this instance,
Yeah.
I can't say that with 100% certainty, because even if I know, and I'm like, all right, I know what you want, but I also don't want to hear your bullshit for the rest of the day. So I'm just gonna do it. You still manipulating me. You know what I'm saying? But I still want to go.
But even the
with
example of you crying to get a desired outcome. I know the tears came because you want to get the desired outcome.
Right.
Now I have a decision to make.
Do I want to hear the daughter?
Do I want to acquiesce or deal with your bullshit? Usually we're acquiescing, not because we don't know you bullshitting.
But has there been
Okay,
a time
so-
where you have been oblivious and then you come to later, and it don't have to be for a negative reason. It could be, let's get, the blue chair versus the brown chair.
Sure.
And then you know that you really wanted the blue chair, but
Sure.
then at the end of the day, you ended up getting the brown one, and then maybe you kind of came to later, and you like, damn.
So I will answer that and explain to you my 80-20 rule in a second. But to your point too, I think that maybe we came at this wrong on the premise. I think maybe inserting ignorance as a requirement for manipulation might not be right.
How
Maybe you can be fully aware and still be manipulated.
That's
I'm starting to lean that way.
Yeah, because
Like I know
even
you on
saying
bullshit.
it, right? Yeah.
I know you on bullshit, but I also don't want to hear you fucking crying.
So I think you've been
been
a culprit of manipulation more than you think.
And think about on the other side, the manipulator
You just
can
can't
know
take it.
full well that you know they on bullshit. But they like, okay, whether he know I'm on bullshit or not,
He's still gonna go.
once I drop these motherfucking tears, he gonna go. So I just gotta carry this thing out a little bit.
And it's still
So I cry in his face, I don't get what I want. Then I stumble up the stairs and I don't get what I want. Now I just gotta sit in this room by myself for 30 minutes and his ass gonna come up here.
You know
Like,
my wife?
I know your house.
So I think that's a really good point though. It's still manipulation at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You still could be
Yeah.
a victim of it.
So my 80-20
If that's the right
rule
word.
is my 80-20 rule as it pertains to men and women in relationships, romantic relationships. If you're gonna talk about disagreements, right? We're on two different sides of a issue.
Daughter text me something.
Common sense would tell you that, it'll be a 50-50, right? Over the course of our relationship, you'll win 50 of you'll get your way 50% of the time, I'll get my way 50% of the time. Well, I think it ends up being about 80-20 in the woman's favor because niggas don't give a fuck. We don't care. Like 80% of the shit we argue about, I don't give a fuck. So, yeah, you can get your natural 50%, and I'll give you another 30 just because I'd rather you just have that than argue about whatever the fuck this thing is. I don't give a fuck if the chair is blue or brown. I might prefer the blue one, but I don't really give a fuck. It can be brown, whatever. But then there's 20% where, just as a man, I'm not budging off this. I'm putting my foot down. You can fucking cry. You can storm out. You can sit in your motherfucking room for 18 days if you want to. That shit is not happening. You know what I'm saying? Or this thing is happening, whatever. And so I think that's about 20%. You start at 50-50. Y'all get an extra 30 just because y'all women and we niggas and we don't care. And then it just leaves us with the 20% that we absolutely not going to budge on.
So I'm gonna not challenge your rule because it's your rule, but I think that's most men's rule, right?
Yeah.
I also think that's foolish, right? And I think it mainly works for you now because you're younger, right? And it worked for me when I was younger. And I think as you get older and you age, the rules get a little different. Specifically in a different kind of relationship, right? I can 80-20 your ass all day long if I got 5 80-20s, because I'm gonna get my 100 through the 5. You understand what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's a lot.
But it's the truth though.
I've thought this way since long before I was
Hear what I'm saying,
actually
though?
non-monogamous.
Okay, well, I'm not even, but I ain't questioning
Or
your
practicing.
relating style in
Sure,
general. I'm saying
sure.
men
Yeah.
in general.
Okay, come on, I got you.
As a young man, I'm moving through the streets. And like you said, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care enough because it's another 60 to 70 to 80% of motherfuckers out here that I got to engage, and I'm going to get hit with what I do. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
going to fulfill
right,
me.
right.
But when you're older and settled in and got one person, you need that fulfillment. So that 80-20 shit becomes imbalanced. And after a while, you're like, man, if I ain't doing other shit, I'm going to get my money's worth. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
I feel that.
Now, if you create a culture where it's already been 80-20, the expectation is 80-20. Just like you said, I don't think I'm getting manipulated, but I know
Yeah.
I'm getting my 80.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But after a while, that shit is not sustainable because you need your 100 too. You know what I mean? So I think in that vein, I think men set themselves up for failure. I think that is a whole nother conversation in a lot of ways too, though,
Sure.
because we, I just laughed a minute ago about E with the, my healing journey, and I was like, I'm sick of this yoga and eating avocados bullshit, right? It's like in a lot of ways,
Hate avocados.
in a lot of ways, like the society we live in, and I think in context of relationship has always been this way. Men acquiesce to women's needs. Men acquiesce to women's desires, right? I think that's who we are by definitive through science too. I think that's what it is in most instances, right? But when we come into this social standard where men aren't even really allowed to be men in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? We got this new kind of social standard that's really making men very feminine in their essence. I don't even want to say in their essence, in their behavior. Because in their essence,
Sassy,
they probably
we
still
might call
men.
it.
Sassy, whatever the fuck. And that's in my mind, that's the presentation to fit into whatever the social norm is.
Right.
But your mind is still thinking like a man minds think. So you present it though in a very, I'm open. Men ain't open. The very essence of masculinity is very rigid. That's one of the definitive.
Open with,
It's
like you said,
closed.
open, you mean like vulnerable?
I just mean open in general. It ain't just got to be vulnerability. It's the whole shit is easy going. We're not, right?
We hard-lined.
We kind of hard-lined.
Okay.
We are. We you know, it's the design.
see that, yeah.
Right? So to the 80-20 rule. I'm hard-lined on my 20 with you getting 80. But I also know I got 5 of you. So for me to vest like that, and I'm only saying in context of how most young men traditionally move, right? Which is why I said at an older age, I'm like, nah, you ain't getting this 80, Joe. But with this new crop of dudes, they ain't moving with the other 5. They getting 80-20 from 25 years old.
So allow me this premise on my 80-20 rule, right? And the premise being that we are aligned as partners, right? So I'm mostly fulfilled by being with you, right? Like the shit we into, like I'm mostly fulfilled in being with you. So this ain't necessarily about fulfillment. This is just about shit we disagree about. You know what I'm saying? What you want to eat today? I don't really give a fuck what we eat today. You know what I'm saying? I may prefer tacos today, and you may want whatever the fuck today, Italian, whatever. And we eat Italian. I don't have any emotional capital to give you about what the fuck we eat today. You know what I'm saying? So you can have that.
I think that's a great example. Back to me being a young nigga who rock with the same 80-20 bullshit.
But I was on this as a married man for a long time. With one partner, I was on this.
Hear me though.
Okay.
I love Thai food.
Sure.
My favorite shit in the world.
Okay.
Nobody in my house eats Thai food but me.
It's because your ass went to China.
That's because I like Thai food. It's because I was cultured and raised right.
You didn't eat that shit before you went over there.
Thai food.
You went over there and tried to eat McDonald's as soon as you got there.
I did, and it made me hurt my stomach, and I changed to Chinese food immediately. But my point is this. Don't nobody in my house eat Thai food. 20 years in, right, you start to look up and be like, damn, I ain't ate Thai food in 5 years. Because it just doesn't go with the 80% of the household, the standard that I've set.
Yeah.
But then it comes to a point where it's like, no, goddammit, I like Thai food.
Right.
And I'm going to have Thai food. But why do I acquiesce? Because most times we're going out somewhere, we're going to get somewhere. It's on me to fulfill whatever that need is.
Right.
I'm not going to drive 45 fucking places to fulfill everybody. Or if we're going out to eat, I got to make something.
pick one
we
plate
got to
type
pick
shit.
one plate. You know what I mean? It's all that shit. But at 20 years in, I'm like, I'm getting Thai food. Fuck y'all. You figure it out. Because that's what you've been saying to me for the last 20 years, in essence.
Right.
Right? I got to deny what I desire and like because y'all don't desire and like it. And at 20, it's cool. Because I ain't tripping that much. I invested. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at almost 50, I'm getting Thai food, goddammit.
At midlife,
I'm getting my Thai
I
food.
ain't got too many more Thai foods left.
I ain't got too many more Thai foods. I'm getting mine.
But really, like you done already taught that you done taught or what's the word? I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of. But you basically done taught how to manipulate, like teaching your children or teaching your household. You are perpetuating, manipulation. Really.
I don't know if I would
Set
call
this
that
precedent.
manipulation.
Yeah.
I've set a precedent, sure, but I don't know if
But the reason I say
I don't know if
that,
I would call that manipulation.
the reason I say that is because not that specifically, but I was watching Brilliant Idiots, and Charlemagne was talking about how he has four daughters, and he was talking about how he overheard his 5-year-old and his 8-year-old talking in the kitchen, asking their mama for something or whatever, and the mama told them no, and then he heard the two girls talking amongst themselves like, no, that don't work for mama, that only works for daddy or whatever.
Right.
And so he was like, what? So he went to ask
I'm a
him,
whole
like,
hoe out here.
wait, what you mean? Like, what works for me? What's the face or whatever like that? And she like did the face, and he was like, Yeah, I mean, he was like, she wasn't even asking for nothing, but just because of that face, I wanted to give her something, but I ain't even, she wasn't even asking for nothing. And it made me think about how, because even you talking about like the Thai food thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
With my daughter, like even in our household now, I'm very much like, no, a lot of the ingredients say made from bioengineered ingredient. I'm like real conscious of that stuff. My daughter asked me to buy her some cookie dough. I buy her, cookie dough with no
the avocado version.
No, right, with no
Organic cookie
no
dough.
aluminum.
They made these cookies while doing yoga.
Good.
So stupid.
That's good.
I hate that shit.
That's why we finna talk to Sadiq.
It'll specifically have like no aluminum in it. She'll be looking at me like, or she'll.
I can't taste the poison in these cookies.
Or pancake mix. My daughter,
Halal cookies.
my daughter can make pancakes from scratch, you know, from flour and whatever and ingredients. But she wants to just add water pancake mix. So I just told her like, look, you got to do that shit when you get older. If you want to kill yourself, like you got to.
Hold on, G, it's aluminum and it just add waters?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's aluminum in most.
That's why my son got ADHD. God damn it. All this time.
I did it to him.
It's been the
We've been
pancakes.
manipulated in America.
It's been the goddamn pancakes.
Yeah,
Jeez.
but all this shit though.
All of
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
All of it.
Like, talk about manipulation. It goes.
That's the ultimate form.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It goes like far. Even the shit that say, because before I used to buy everything that said like organic, but that ain't even the shit.
Question,
it's
though.
the non-GMO.
Question though.
Yeah, sorry.
The ingredients are
That
on
was
the
on
back
point.
of the just add waters, right?
Yes, ingredients on the side.
So
of it.
are
Doesn't
you being
require a
so-
level of ignorance.
Are you being manipulated? The information is there. You've chosen comfort or ease. Just like when the motherfuckers start crying. You ain't tricked me. I've just chosen comfort.
Maybe it's
The
manipulation.
ingredients
when
are
it's
there. I've seen this box of pancakes before. This box of pancakes is on most of the shelves.
It requires,
at most of the grocery
requires
stores.
tears and stomping and silence.
This is not a new box of pancakes.
But if you're ignorant to like what those ingredients
So
are,
if you're 13 and you're meeting your first box of pancakes,
I don't think it requires
it's a
ignorance, man.
different thing.
I'm off with the ignorance part of it. I don't think it requires ignorance. I think it can be manipulated right in your motherfucking face with full knowledge of manipulation. Transactional? Ron says it's transactional. I can see that. I'm trading my agency for my comfort.
but I was saying that to say
I can
we
see that.
instill it in each other, in our kids, in our partners, like a little bit of manipulation. Don't you think? Or no?
Yes. I do think that's manipulation.
Manipulation makes the world go round. I'm just joking.
I don't think it has to though, right? 'Cause I don't find myself, and you'd have to talk to my partners to fact check this. I don't
I mean,
find
you
my
trick them into being partners. That's manipulation.
that's major cap.
101. No, just joking. I'm just joking.
And voila!
I'm just joking. I love y'all. I'm just
Abracadabra!
I'm just
Y'all
joking.
stupid.
I'm joking. Don't get mad at me.
But I don't feel like I find myself being manipulative.
He couldn't get the words out. He know he lied. The
I don't
lie
do
was
it.
choking him.
Because I don't do it. In fact, I find them being manipulative towards me is what I really find.
I think you're right. And I think that's the
Yeah, me
essence of
too.
femininity.
That's the beauty of it.
I don't think it's beautiful.
I'm just joking.
I think it's horrible.
I think y'all beautiful, and so because y'all are beautiful, then we acquiesce.
Now I think we get into Ron's conversation about transactional behaviors, right? And it's all of this shit is a negotiation, and y'all use what y'all got to get what y'all want. Same
Basically,
for
y'all are
men.
prostitutes.
Same for men, right?
What did I say the other day?
How do men assert power?
What you want?
How do men assert power and dominance in most situations? It ain't that difficult to think about. How do men assert?
Physical.
Mostly it's physical, right? Or it's
Can you whip my ass though?
Spiritual.
It's can you with my ass though, right? And we either gonna use capital or we gonna use strength. That's it, right? We look at power in those two ways. We can buy a way out of it or we gonna beat your ass.
Right.
That's it.
Buy you or beat you.
Buy you or beat you. That's really how men assert strength. Well, in this country and in this social standard, women ain't really never had that power. You've never had the economic power to outdo a man in most instances. You've never had the physical power since humanity began. So what do? You use tricks of the mind. It just is what it is. Watch any old fucking Cleopatra movie, any old Game of Thrones, the mother of the kingdom was manipulating her son, manipulating her brother, manipulating her husband. You know, it's all mental tricks, right? The most deadly motherfucker on the show was her. She ain't killed nobody, but by her own hands, but killed everybody through, you know, the words that she spread.
Manipulation.
It's the game, right? But to Ron's point, it's because we operate transactionally. Like, I can't just get my way through the truth. I can't just be honest about what I like or what I desire or what I want. So I got to trick, lie, deceive. I can't just be two-sided. I just can't be Herb in this context of any situation, really, right? So you go into a business, man, you in there manipulating and lying. Why you just can't be who the fuck you are and get the business? Right? Why do you change your motherfucking voice? Why you use a different tone? All that shit, a different pitch. Because you want those people to feel comfortable because we set up a standard of what valuable is.
Yeah.
It's all a lie, though.
Yeah, it's even when you think about transaction, because I'm thinking of a couple, and I would say the man manipulates using his capital, right? But I always make the joke, we talk about the girl, usually, like my friends and I, we might talk about the girlfriend and be like, she's stupid, she this, she that, and I'd be like, I don't know, we might need to learn a thing or two from her ass, you jokingly or whatever, but he could be thinking that he's being I think he's a pretty manipulative person. I don't know if it's intentional or unintentional, but I feel like he's a pretty manipulative person. I don't know the girl, my friendship is with him, you know, but he's probably thinking that he has the upper hand or is manipulating the situation when really maybe she is, or maybe neither one of them are, and that's just, you know, their dynamic, and that's what works for them.
Why does somebody gotta have the upper hand? Do we ever think about that part of it?
Yeah.
That's a problem in itself.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Yeah. Like, why is there a power dynamic if we're a team?
In a partnership.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
If we're in this together, we should be trying to achieve whatever it is together. Right?
You would think.
I mean, that's only what makes sense.
Your partners be your biggest hater sometimes, though.
And I feel like
just sad.
In romantic relationships, that happens more frequently than other relationships.
What part?
We've been partners for years, right? We disagree about a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But the North Star is the North Star. We still have the same goal in mind. So it's not like, let me get the ups on two, or let me get the ups on Herb and this shit. Like, no, you're not trying to get the ups on each other. Even if we disagree on how we should proceed, where we're trying to go is the fucking same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in relationships, I don't know. I think motherfuckers really do want the upper hand on their partner.
I agree with that, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, obviously I have more, it's not obvious, but I have a lot of female friends, really long relationships, really long friendships, and even just outside of those friends, when I hear of relationship issues, most of the times that's what stands out as the dynamic. It's like, we're in competition with each other instead of moving as a unit. So like, I feel like in relationships, a man and a woman, a lot of the times the ego gets from what I see, I've seen it with the women too, but in the man's way, where let's say, you know how sometimes you can hear your partner, your woman say, or your man say the same thing 5 different ways. And then you won't listen to them, but then somebody else say it, two say it, I say it, or something like that, and now all of a sudden, you know, it makes sense, or you got this idea or something like that. To me, that's like in competition with each other versus looking at who has the talent in this area and moving with that. And I think it takes like a very emotionally mature, strong, confident, like man, because I'm a woman and I date men, to accept that.
I agree with you. There's so much minutia to push through on any given one thing, right? So it should be just simple, this one thing. What's the best path on this one thing? Yeah. But it don't become about this singular decision. It becomes about this decision through the lens of, well, you ain't been fucking me the way I want to be fucked, or you didn't clean up, or you didn't take out the trash, or I asked you to go run these errands last weekend, you ain't do that, or we got these bills, or we got this, or the kid acting fucking crazy, or it becomes deciding on this one singular thing through all of this other bullshit.
Yeah.
And then it tanks your response.
I was finna say to the point you made, and I agree with both of you all, right? But it still goes back to the crux of what defines relating, right? And to the point Herb made about us doing business, we disagree probably more than we agree.
Yeah.
Right? But and even the lack of ego, I don't think it's a shift in the kinds of relationships personally. I think it's the kinds of people we are. The context of this show is anti most of the shit that
Truth.
most people align with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True.
So when we start thinking about the socialization of America, it's really the corporatization of America. We operate. Think about how many motherfuckers is on Instagram right now talking about my brand is. You're a fucking human being. You're not a brand. There's a very big difference. I just see it. I say men by their essence and by their nature are rigid. Brands are fucking rigider, right? The red that you see on Target's logo is the red that you're going to see in every Target anything.
It's Target red.
It's called
Pepsi Blue.
Target Red. It's called Pepsi Blue.
Right.
There is no altering or changing. Humanity doesn't operate like that.
Right.
If you're living, you should be growing, evolving, and changing all the time. Right? But we've kind of taken on a corporate kind of philosophy about humanity. The shit don't work. Right? So I think it's the kinds of people we are. I'd be allowed to say I don't got ego. My ego standing next to me is big as fuck.
Right.
You understand me?
Man, too.
But even in probably the last month, 90% of the times I get on the phone with this nigga, I be like, I'm trying to check my behavior sets.
He do.
So what should I do here? Because this is how I'm really feeling. I want you to know how I'm really feeling, but I'm not going to express this shit till you tell me whether or not this is okay. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to check the ego because I want to go forward, right? But I don't think, and again, back to the dynamic of who we are. But this is a fucking anomaly. We've been in partnership with other people.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
You understand what I'm saying? Not just us, other people.
Yeah.
Right? They've tried to manipulate each of us against each other. Right?
They wanted the one-ups. They wanted the up. Yeah.
In various situations, all that shit could have transpired very differently.
Yeah.
Great point.
Right?
Yeah.
Some people elevated him to certain levels. And they thought that was going to remove him from my circle.
Yeah.
We just different.
We different. You
right?
can't do
But
that
Jay-Z and Dame wasn't different.
They weren't different.
Yeah.
That worked with them.
It worked perfectly.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We can go down the line of a whole bunch of motherfuckers publicly. We didn't know the shit didn't go the way that way. And most people going to go with who maneuvered the corporate situation the best.
Great.
He's going to be the one who's validated.
Who can make me president of Def Jam?
Who can make me president of Def Jam? Right? So again, it's the very essence of what corporatization does to relationship.
Or it's what you value too, though, in a relationship.
And I appreciate you a lot more just having heard you say that because you're 100% right, but just thinking about it, that I appreciate our relationship a lot more.
Right, but y'all probably already appreciate each other's relationship and you value each other too. So even when you think about...
I still think it's based on the dynamic of how we came to the door, even before we met one another. We were these people.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. So
man, you was who you was before you got here.
You was who you was.
You shot your brother before you met Dame.
You know what I mean? And it ain't changed today. That's why you can shit on Cap too. Right? No, let's do a Super Bowl performance. We're tired of kneeling. Right? And we keep using Jay as the analogy because this is the most public form of this kind of relationship. Sure. You know what I mean?
Great points too.
But it's really based on the person you are.
I like that too.
Everybody likes Jay because Jay wins.
Yeah.
And what does corporatization value?
Winners.
Winning.
Well,
in a transaction, you want to be the best negotiator.
I was saying that, and I guess speaking to that because I wouldn't classify every relationship's, downfall or selection of, this person versus that person as manipulation. So the reason why I brought up that y'all valued each other already, y'all was already, this solid person, and not going to acquiesce to what somebody else is doing. And those people that probably tried to manipulate y'all was already fugazi, weak, you know what I mean? Yeah. Weak-minded people, I would imagine.
It's a matter of perspective, though. And this is why I really go in on women, though. And this is back to the feminization of the avocado and doing yoga culture, too. Most people wouldn't associate Jay's behaviors with the avocado and doing yoga, but I see it exactly the same way. Right? The very essence of femininity is insatiable. Y'all want more, more, more. It's your fucking nature. It's what drives us to be better. Because we don't just, I don't give a fuck. I can eat chicken every day for 32 years. And I wouldn't question it. We got chicken again. It is what it is.
I wouldn't feel like I'm missing some
I
shit.
wouldn't feel like I'm missing that. I'm not hungry, though. I ate chicken a day.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But your insatiable nature is always looking for more and more and more and better. That's very feminine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More and more. It's no satisfying that craving, right? We don't have those same kind of cravings, but we do have a craving for you. And in order to satisfy your craving, we acquiesce to you, right?
Yeah,
If we
I
got
know.
4 walls, heat, and water, we're living good. You ever seen the little meme on all the little social sites, and it'd be like, sometimes starting over looks like this, and it'd be a mattress on the floor with a TV.
Right.
And motherfuckers be like, yeah. Or you've seen other memes like, why men think it's okay to live like this, and it'd be this little vacant ass apartment type.
Yeah, a woman
because
coming in.
that's all we need, the
Yeah.
necessities. You understand? Our place don't got a fucking match. We eating off of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the insatiable nature of woman is to always look for the better deal, right? That's the insatiable nature. And you add that into a corporatization or a corporatist or a capitalist country, and you feed those two together. The motherfucker at the bottom of that is going to be the man. At least the man who's operating like a man, right? So to the point I made about my 80-20 rule, I'm not being manipulated. I know what the fuck is happening. I just don't want to fight against the shit.
I want to ask you a question. I agree with most of what you said, but I guess I wouldn't consider it insatiable nature. I would look at it as if you know better, you do better. You know what I mean? But I want to ask, in your marriage, are there, I don't want to say roles because that's not really what I'm talking about, but are there areas where, you have areas of strength and your wife have areas of strength, and are you able to like move in and out of giving her the go ahead on making decisions on certain things, or is she like the go-to person for I guess it's roles. I hate to call it like that, but like if somebody's better with finance or somebody's better with, I don't know,
It's a challenge.
documents.
It goes up and down all
Yeah.
through the shit, right? It's still a journey for us too. You think we had this shit figured out? We don't, right?
Right.
But I'll give you a great example, right? I went to the optometrist not too long ago, right? I ain't never been to the optometrist in my life, right? I had to go because they diagnosed me with diabetes. It's all shit. I'm learning this new journey.
Okay.
Right? So one of the
you
ways
on a journey.
they dictate, yeah, I'm on my diabetes journey. What the fuck happened? Avocados and yoga, right? But look,
Avocados and yoga.
Avocados and yoga.
But look,
the name of the episode.
avocados and yoga, that's goddamn that. But look, I didn't know this. I'm ignorant, right? So part of how they diagnose the, I guess the severity of the diabetes is through your eyelids, looking at the back of your iris, right? So I'm in this motherfucker, man, and they asking me, I'm signing in for the appointment or whatever. They asking me all these questions about my health, right? And I'm standing there like, man, you the dumbest motherfucker in the world. Because I don't know none of these answers, bro. About my own health. I don't know shit they asking me.
Right.
Not one answer. I'm like, you stupid little motherfucker. Right? So then the lady's like, hold on, well, your wife? I said, look, lady, because I stopped. I said, look, lady, my wife signed up for this shit. I wish she was here because she could answer this shit. I don't know these answers. So she was like, well, let me check the paperwork, right? She goes back to the paperwork, and my wife had already filled out all the answers to all the questions that she had asked. And in that moment, I'm like, man, I really appreciate my motherfucking wife, G.
Yeah.
Like, you feel grateful.
Yeah.
This is my health.
Yeah.
But to the man shit, I got so much other shit on my plate, that's the least of my goddamn concern. And that's crazy because without
it
the
should
health
be
part of
the-
this shit,
yeah,
none of the
yeah,
other shit
right.
matters.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean? But all that other shit demands of me immediately,
Yeah.
right? And the shit that's most important is
You
on
kick
the back.
that down the road.
You kick that down the road,
Yeah.
right? But it's the same way we deal with our women, right? Because when we acquiesce, it's just to appease you in the moment. What's best might be
Right.
over here,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like dealing with it. I know this is the best move.
Saying no, or
You're right. I
putting a
know
stop
this
to
is what's
it.
best, but I don't want to deal with this shit. Let me appease your ass in the moment, and we going.
Yeah.
And it leads to more and more problems.
Yeah.
But it's still based on the construct of this. You ain't gonna stop because I know this down the road is healthier.
So when and how much of it is fear based?
In what capacity?
Fear of not
Being tired?
acquiescing. Huh? Eating Thai food. Fear of not acquiescing, right? And I don't mean on a smaller scale about what we eating tonight, but it may be on a larger scale about other things.
I didn't understand the question first. I get you now.
Yeah.
I would say a large percentage of it is, and I also think it changes too, though. Right? Again, me being 50, I'm setting my ways now. It ain't like it's gonna be what's gonna be now, right? I'm not saying this across the board about men. I'm more apt to fight now, though. As I would just, what's the word I want? I don't want to say not fight, but it's them other 5. I ain't as vested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me to give you this energy is like, so what?
So I won't go too deep on this. This is really more of a Patreon conversation where I would expose deeper levels of this shit. But I have a situation with a partner. I don't like it at all. Like there's something about it that I don't like it the fuck at all. And I haven't been able to draw that hard line. You talk about being rigid. I haven't been able to draw that hard line and say, fuck no. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you think that is? Which is, I'm assuming.
I don't think it's manipulation. I'm not ignorant. I know exactly what the fuck it is. I know what it means for me to say absolutely fucking not. I know
The
what
back-end consequences.
I know
of
the outcome
saying
of that.
absolutely not.
and I don't think I like it. I think I'm afraid of it to an extent. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if afraid is the best word, but I don't like it. That's not what I desire.
So that's a good point. I don't know if this ties in together. Y'all can tell me, because I remember I was dating a guy, and I was knowing, we talked about intuition too, you brought up like a woman's intuition, and I was trying to fill out the situation, and decide kind of where I wanted to go with it, but I knew that if I drew a line,
Right.
then that means that I would have to blow the shit up. I'm probably not gonna talk to you no more, because now I'm saying like hell no, like whatever the case may be. And it sounds exactly like what you're doing, but then I would probably almost think by not drawing my line, even though I know what it is a little bit of manipulation. And then even the conversation that I had after that, that might not have been manipulation, maybe gaslighting or whatever on my behalf, but
Gaslighting.
maybe, I don't know, but
this
it could
gets
be.
interesting to me. And this only gets interesting to me in the context of other shit I've heard over the last probably month, 2 months or whatever. Like, you remember I came in here talking about the data behind the incels?
Yeah.
Incels or whatever, right? So you hit what incels is,
Nope.
involuntary celibate dudes, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
They're talking about this emerging group of people that's coming because of the way people relate off being on the web and, all the shit that I said,
get boxed.
just attached to all of that shit, right? And if you think about that, contextually though, in that world, women are uber empowered.
Yeah.
Right? Because the dude, even just back to our natures again, right? We're visual, right? So you all are always the catch in that paradigm. If I'm scrolling and visually you catch my attention, it's on me to shoot the shot, and you can look back at my catalog and y'all don't respond to the same shit we respond to, so the interest ain't the same, right? Most women ain't visual. I don't know, I might have asked you, I ain't sure. It was a part of that same study. They asked 15 women, right? In a day, how many attractive men do you see, right?
Oh, okay.
Did I ask you that?
You didn't ask me that.
How many in a day? How many attractive men do you think you see? Really, this nigga fine. This stopped you in your tracks fine.
In person?
Yeah.
In person. You go throughout your day. How many times do you find yourself stopping and be like, damn, he fine?
Shit, hardly ever.
Great answer. Herb, how many you see?
I wish I would see more.
I lost count.
Can't keep count. Y'all two, how many you see? Hey, the nigga in here that can keep count, right? Now, that's
why it's changing more in y'all favor.
Hear what I'm saying? Think about the
it's
science of
more-
that. Think about the science of that. You said these niggas don't exist. Right? We said we can't stop seeing these motherfuckers. There's somebody wrong. The logic and the math don't fucking add up. But it's based on the science of how we're designed.
Right.
Right? So in a world like that, when you like
Attractive niggas.
who that? They don't even exist.
I've never seen a
You mean
Bigfoot.
on my Instagram feed?
I'd
Right?
have maybe once a week. I mean, I might see 3 out of the week. or
3 in the
something.
week, right?
Something like that, maybe. 3.
Nigga, we see 3 before we get to the
4.
corner. You
Right.
understand?
Right.
Like it's the very essence and nature and the science behind who we are.
And
right?
I think attraction is different.
So if you
too.
think about that, right, what we gravitate to, right, and what y'all gravitate to, right, in your mind, well, you ain't shit anyway. You understand what I'm saying? You already think less of us, right? The connectivity ain't the same. Like it's funny how the story is or the stereotypes are, right? Like men don't value y'all. I think the reality is very different. I think the reality is very different.
I'm thinking about like I was just talking about this with my friend. I was saying how I have been seeing a lot of attractive men lately, more than usual, probably because I've been going out more. You know what I mean? And I was saying a lot of the times I could see some guys or whatever, but I don't necessarily need to like talk to them. I just like to know that they there half the time because it's the energy. I know whoever I'm gonna fuck with, I'm gonna fuck with them anyway, because if it's meant for us to talk, we're gonna talk or whatever. But also, I say a lot of the times, I don't even be wanting the guy to say anything. Like, don't open your mouth.
He is hilarious. You are
just
hilarious.
sit there, because 9 times out of 10, it's a meme that's going around that say, if you got a crush on somebody, just get to know them and then it'll go away real quick. If you got a crush on a man,
Never meet your heroes.
And that's true most of the times, I would say. But in that same vein.
For women.
Yes.
Because y'all don't value us in the first fucking place.
But that's why I say
That's what we come with.
Back to the
y'all getting the
insatiable
upper
nature.
hand. The men getting the upper hand these days, I feel. The quality ones.
You ain't understanding the science of what I just asked you. You couldn't possibly.
Say it again. Maybe
I asked you how many attractive niggas you see in a day. You
Right,
was
I
like,
get it.
Yeah.
Not many, right?
And I asked every man in the room, and I said a day. I didn't say a month, a week,
Right.
a day, right?
So you saying we don't value.
The value ain't the same.
Right. Because attraction means
I
different things to us,
I just
think.
gave a very blanket ask, though.
Yeah.
Right? A very blanket ask of how
Yeah.
many attractive dudes you see in a day. A blanket ask of how many attractive women we see in a day. And the numbers are topsy-turvy than a motherfucker.
Yeah. 'Cause y'all-
Right? We're up here, y'all like, this shit don't even exist.
Even if you ask
That's
women what they find attractive.
That's what, and that's what I was
What type
going
of
with.
dudes you like? He got to be 6'3". He got to have a nigga just be like, oh, she's got to be cute and cool.
I think it is that attraction thing. I think when y'all say like men are y'all more physical, you know what I mean? So you all, when you say attraction, how many attractive men you see, y'all just talking about physically, like aesthetics, right?
Right.
When I think of attraction, I don't think of the physical part. Not to say that I'm not paying attention to the physical, but it'd be something else. It'd be like a different type of like.
Yeah, you ain't gonna fuck with an ugly nigga that got his shit together though.
Well, I won't even. It's still physical. I probably will fuck with. I told you I had a crush on an ugly dude before, but then like a year or two later, I saw him again, and I was like.
You worked with him
"Ooh,
or went to school with him?
He.
You have to see him often.
He used to be really involved and really supportive of my foundation.
Okay.
And he was not good looking, but he was so supportive. Like I probably was craving that. I thought he was good. But anyway, what I'm saying is, like for instance, when at Super Bowl, it was a guy, whatever. He looked a little nerdy. My god sister was saying something. I was like, that's the type that I like or whatever. He just looked like a regular plain dude or whatever like that. But it was something about. I don't know. It was probably because he didn't seem goofy or like he was thirsty or something like that. I don't know what it was, but it was attractive to me. It wasn't necessarily like how he looked. It was just that he was chilling, I think. You get what I'm saying?
So ugly and
So I think
attractive is
different.
subjective.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Right, we was
That's
having
what
this
I'm getting at.
conversation when we had talked about TLC. It's
Yeah.
subjective, right? But the point I'm trying to get to is the very essence and the science behind how we relate.
Okay.
Right? By asking some basic questions, you can see the wide gaps and differences in understanding. Right?
Yeah.
So when you could say, I don't see no attractive men in a day, in whatever walk of life you live in, is very different than a man in any walk of life that he's living will respond with. Right? So then we look at now we bring that back to the level of how we culturally deal today, how we relate, how we engage. If we mostly, and I'm not saying this is everybody, but I'm just giving examples, right? Scrolling on Instagram, hitting you through the DMs. Men are seeing 800 attractive women because you got your best fucking photos. You're presenting your best self, right? It's a portfolio of your best looks or whatever, right? Women still seeing the same thing. Ain't this, even in our best, your mind doesn't even relate. So just like you said, the nerdy dude caught your attention, but you was in his aura. There was something about his essence that made you feel that way. Well, most people ain't in the essence no more because we're segregated and in silos mostly now, right? So there's less connectivity for men, hence creating the incel, the motherfucker who can't get no pussy, right? But for you, it ain't that, you niggas just ain't cute. I can have whatever I fucking want. It's a mentality behind that.
Right.
I can have whatever I want. And when you feel like I can have whatever I want, I ain't really got to jump at or care about or really give a, like I said, I ain't tripping on the 80-20 rule because it's 5/20s. You want to do that, cool. Because it's not, I'm not vested like that, right? But that was a different time in life, right? And I'm not on the internet. I'm married, so the box closes.
Yeah, and then the
right?
5/20s.
But hear what I'm saying though.
Quality
My mind didn't change. My environment changed. Her mind ain't changed either though. Even though her environment changed. You hear what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
So her mind is like, I ain't got to deal with this shit. Now the reality is, the game keeps changing on both ends, right? Because as a man gets older, guess what? He gets more attractive.
Yeah.
As a woman gets older, she loses that value. That's the shit Kevin Samuels would be talking about. Hence is why you got the gap in lonely motherfuckers. But it's the mindset behind both of those behaviors.
Unless you're the mother of Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, the mother of Jada Pinkett is fly. But to that point of the question that Herb asked, like if you on the single end of that, you know, living life type of shit, you ain't really locked into something. When you find something you like, man, you want to rock with it.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's acquiescing or not acquiescing, and that creates a level of fear. You know what I mean? It does. But to be free, you got to let go of the fear.
Gotta tell them. What do you need?
I love that conversation, and I love you, E, but you so damn funny, G. I could imagine how roller coasteral it would be to date you, because you just an interesting. Even as your brother, I walk here today, I'm like, oh, I see your eyebrows look good today. You like?
No, I said thank you.
He a Leo though.
Thank you.
She don't know what to do with that shit. She like,
He a Leo.
wait, what?
I think that's some Leo shit, and I'm coming to grips with that shit. Right?
Yeah.
I think we're harder to deal with than we think we are to deal with. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, I think that when I'm dating, I don't think that I'm hard to deal with. I think I have been for sure. I think I have been very hard to deal with in the past. I think me today should be very easy to deal with, but I do also feel that me being so easy to deal with is a little bit of pressure, you know? And it's not pressure that I intend to put out, but I put it out, and I'm okay with that, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm like pretty easygoing. Like I feel like I'm very easygoing.
Yeah.
But I also ain't with the shits. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's known. But you know, I'm literally fine with it, and I can say that because usually anybody that I have dated or whatever, they'll try to come back. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't did nothing wrong to you to make you, or like you don't think I'm crazy or you don't think I'm this or that. But it's like, you know, I ain't gonna force shit or pretend or nothing either, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
like,
I know you don't even rock with this shit, but I think that zodiac, that astrology shit means something too, right? I think we're all fire signs. Yeah. Right. So we kind of just in the essence of that, we approach the world in similar fashions. You know what I mean? But like I said, you said, I'm pretty easy to deal with. What I'm telling you is,
I get
right? What we think about ourselves versus the reality of ourselves is very different, right? And vice versa. It's as many realities as there are people.
Yeah.
Right? So if you, in these kind of conversations with motherfuckers who approaching the world like you approach the world, well, yeah, go for it. Everybody's in alignment. But it's what? Leo Aries, right? It's motherfucking 10 other signs out there who approach the world from a different energy space. And then you got their environment and all the other shit to shape their perspectives.
Everything that make them up. Yeah.
Right? And they be looking at you, me, and him like, you niggas crazy.
Y'all crazy.
Right.
You got your motherfucking mind. You know what I mean? Because their perspective is very different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just very interesting to think about, man. But as I get to the point of me calling her, like, I'm trying to check my
Right.
personality and shit, right? I don't do that with my wife.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's kind of rigid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it might be rigid based on the relationship of length of time. I know you, you know me.
Right.
And it becomes, a cycle of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's other people who don't even ain't related to me in any kind of way. It's very interesting to me always to hear people's perspective of me.
That's so funny. I swear that was the next thing I was about to say. Like, I always want to hear, like,
What do you see?
What you thought? Because I also find that once things are done, then you get a whole different, like, person, and then they coming around free and like, and you like, what the hell was this person? Like, what were you thinking of me for you to feel that you got to be so uptight or like this way?
When we were together.
But then now, you know what I'm saying?
I get that.
And then perceptions, when they give you that perception, is it something, can you relate to it in most instances? Do you think it's you? Do you think it's how you present?
No, well, so the thing that when I've heard the people talk about a perception of me, there hasn't been many people, it still goes back to them. They bring it back to their insecurities or something like that. And I believe them because it's things that I saw anyway, during that time. But I feel like I've learned, like I talk about my ex Muay Thai or whatever like that. Like
That's so funny.
Like Muay Thai, whatever. As whatever I want to call a narcissist, whatever this and that and the third, I can really see like, oh, I see exactly what happened there. I see where I was wrong. You know what I mean? And I would love to tell him, but I don't like him, so I'm not telling him shit. Right? Yeah. But if he didn't do the shit he did, then I would probably like want to sit down and have a conversation with him and be like, you know what? I feel this is what happened. Da 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 da.
Right.
But it usually come back to their insecurities.
Anybody ever came back to you and gave a perspective on who they assume you to be?
I don't think so.
That's the
And
problem.
I don't even mean be clear what I'm saying. Y'all. I don't even mean like you got to be a romantic relationship. It could be a random motherfucker in the street. Like, man, I thought you was. Well, I think you.
Oh
like,
yeah. Or they thought you was an
yeah.
asshole. They didn't like you at first, maybe. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've had people, have their perceptions of who they thought I was or how they thought I, behave or move or whatever. But then they like, that ain't how you are at all.
Because I probably thought you was when I first ever came to your house. I didn't know you. I didn't talk to you, like have a conversation with you. So my perception is like, oh, this is popular nigga think you doing da, 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 da. That might have been it.
I'm the chillest nigga.
And then to meet you years later and become friends is a totally different person. So
I feel that.
Yeah.
I think we all look at people from the outside and we draw these conclusions from, or even from the inside.
Yeah.
Just like feeling like how they move different from our own perspective, right? I think that happens for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the shit, I asked the question like, because when it comes to me, in my own understanding of me,
Yeah.
I be like, man, you niggas is on the wrong planet. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's a very interesting to think about.
Yeah.
If this is the perspective you have, and this is the perspective I have, and they're
Polar
this far
opposites,
apart,
right.
Yeah.
what the fuck is really happening here?
Yeah.
Right. Where's the disconnect?
Where's the disconnect? Because
Yeah.
you over here and I'm over here.
And people be really stuck in that over here.
And I'm
over
really
here.
stuck in me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm stuck too now. I'm giving credence to both sides.
Yeah, that's what be crazy.
Obviously, it's something in me in that presentation that made you feel like
They
this.
have this perception.
Yeah.
Right? But whatever that is in me, I'm blind. I'm Stevie Wonder to that
Right.
shit. I don't,
Yeah.
What the fuck is you talking about?
What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
That ain't me at all.
That ain't me at all. Right? It's just something to think about.
Yeah, I had that conversation with my sisters all the time.
Yeah.
And it's funny, and I won't keep talking, but like my sisters say, oh, you a bitch, da, 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 da. That's what they'll say. And I'm like, you're the bitches. Like, I think that they are mean and bitches. And then they'll think about it, like, actually, and I'll give examples, like, I'll call you and say this, that, and the third. Yeah, like, how you calling me a bitch? Because I'm straightforward.
Interesting.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a lot more stuff I want to say about this and a lot more personal examples I want to give. But I'll do that on the Patreon episode when we continue to talk about manipulation in relationships, avocados, and yoga. I like that too. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man, to this Relationship Friday edition of Herman 2. I thought it was a super dope conversation. Shout out to both of y'all for y'all's thoughts and perspectives on that. Thought y'all gave some very powerful and poignant points on this. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all for tuning in. Please make sure you like the video. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. If you haven't shared it with at least one person that you think would add value to or find value in it, please do that as well. We'll be back for another live edition of Herman 2 Monday at 1 p.m. Every single Monday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are live, able to read and respond to your comments in real time. Make sure you are there for that on Monday. Huge shout out to P.I. He coordinates all this shit right here to make it look the way that it looks. Huge shout out to Ron Ridley. He coordinates all of this shit right here to make it comfortable and dope and raw. E is here. She's not just managing today. She's hosting as well. We like that. It took a lot of doing to get her on camera.
You got her face beating everything today. She killing you today, boy.
She outside.
You know what I'm saying?
Video Vixen E.
Shit on it.
For 2. My name is Herb. Y'all be good to each other. Peace.
The blush Moulin Rouge.
Like, irritated by it. I've turned down my share of box, whatever, but I'm saying, y'all.
Man, my first time with rejection is how I ended up being celibate for 2 years.
She got so crushed me. They crushed me. I'll never use you again. I don't want it. No. Throw the box away. Throw the whole box away? You blame me on your box? You failed me like this.
I ain't blaming on the box.
E pussy was screaming for 2 years. I didn't do shit to you, bitch. He left. I need some things. He like, we not getting shit.
No, but no, really though. But
Tell us, I want to hear this.
The nerve.
The nerve of this nigga to say he don't want it. You know what? Nobody gets it. You're not hungry? Shop closed. Close it. Shut it down.
No, but
Imagine one nigga walking in your restaurant, look at the menu like, I want something else. Yeah. And you close your entire restaurant. Motherfucker gonna tell me he don't want my steak sandwiches. What?
no.
Damn.
That's funny, but
Buddy was a vegan. Relax.